Hello, I'm Andrew Fitzgerald, and this is my ridiculously hilarious corporate headshot. They took a whole series of these in which I really ended up coming out looking like a lawyer. So if you or a loved one have been injured in a workplace accident, please call Fitzgerald at Law. Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Fitzgerald. I'm running for the board. I'm really excited about it. I work for Hearst Television. I've been there for about 2.5 years. We are a local broadcaster. Before that, I was at Twitter. Before that, I worked for Current TV, if anyone remembers that. Admittedly, I wrote a thing. So I'm gonna try and read the thing and not come off so reedy. But I feel like it's a good distillation of the way I've been thinking about this. I've been coming to ONA since 2009, back in San Francisco. Every year, especially the bad years, we've asked ourselves, what's the future of news? Originally, we were very serious. What's the future of news? But we asked ourselves that question so frequently it began to drift into parody. And in fact, maybe the best session at ONA these days is Robert Hernandez's "What is the future of news is X," which is only parody, and it is chef kiss emoji. This was not an extremely bad year for our business, but it wasn't a great year. We lost some digital innovators. We lost a lot of stalwart local properties. Here in New Orleans, the Times-Picayune was in a years-long battle with the New Orleans Advocate. The Advocate bought the Times-Picayune and laid off a lot of journalists. In all of these cases, our colleagues across the industry lost jobs, and the public, our readers, became less well-informed. This time is sort of all of these things are coming together. Mistrust in our industry is rising. Our influence is increasingly refracted through algorithms we do not control, and our businesses are very brittle. Online journalists, digital natives, digital publications, I believe we are the best hope. We were once the newsroom weirdos, some of us still are, and then we were the disruptors. Now I think we're the navigators who can chart a way out of these times. So what is it? What is the future of news? I think it's us. Actually, I think it's us. Local media is the first thing I want to talk about. The highest reported trust levels in media in the US are for local journalists. That's because local journalism is by and of a community. I work for a local TV company, Hearst, that is focused on doing great journalism and establishing a strong connection with the community. A word we use frequently is localism. You know who the most important voices in local newsrooms are these days? Digital journalists. Those are the people who are helping these organizations navigate changing consumption patterns. Platforms. Like most people here, I love the platforms and they make me deeply uncomfortable. They extend our reach. They occasionally write us grants. They fund conferences like this. Thank you. I worked for a platform. I am a true utopian when it comes to the distribution of information on the internet, and yet utopia is not what we got. I think the platforms need help. They need help to navigate the next couple of years. They need the help of people who know how information works, what semantic content of information is, and also how it spreads within their systems. I tried my best to build that into Twitter when I was there with the Moments product, but I think that we collectively as an industry, and specifically as digital journalists, we have an expertise that we can offer to the platforms. Finally, the business. The future of news, after all this time, was not citizen journalism. It was not snowfall graphics or social videos. Turns out, the whole time, future of news was the business. We, in the last 20 years, have expended enormous creativity into storytelling in the newsroom. Meanwhile, the business was suffering. Our colleagues on the business side were not innovating as quickly and creatively as we might have been in the newsroom. What if we, as an organization, began to bring that creativity to solving those problems? Trying to do that in my own way at Hearst Television, but I'd love to see us at ONA as a body work on that. So that's what brings me here. I'm running for the board to represent local journalists, especially my colleagues across the broadcast industry. I'm running for the board because I believe ONA as a body and through its members can be a positive influence on the conversation between platforms and media. And lastly, I'm running for the board because I've never been a part of an organization of such creative problem solvers, and I think that this organization can be the vanguard in helping preserve our industry.
You got there right before the ding.
Ooh, wow. I saw you coming. I was like,
That's what it's for.
he's going to ask me a movie now.
I also went and got a beer as a reminder that if you have a ticket, you can go get one as well. And if you know people out there who are thirsty, tweet. Let them know to come here to get a drink. All right, Andrew, your first question. You only got like 3 to 5 seconds. What is the meaning to life, the universe, and everything?
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Boom. He's got the right other quote. That's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You got it. Which I didn't want to ask Fergus because that's a British, right? I believe, isn't that a British movie film? I don't know. Anyways, all right.
Right, so the answer is actually 42. I mean,
The answer is 42. You are,
Okay,
yes.
right.
All right. So here's the real question. So, you worked at Current TV a long time ago, which was doing something very different with video and broadcasting, and now you're in local TV broadcasters, which, if I'm perfectly honest, I've always felt like hasn't always had the best presence at ONA. So I was hoping that you could talk about local broadcast TV, where it goes from here, especially when it comes to digital, what ONA can do for that community, and what that community can do for ONA.
Mm-hmm. So I think actually have watched over the last couple of years as attendance in ONA from local TV groups has been pretty steadily increasing. Groups like Tegna, Hearst, Sinclair, ABC owned and operated are all sending a lot of journalists from their newsrooms to ONA. Those journalists are learning incredible lessons, bringing them back into their newsrooms and really transforming their newsrooms. Television journalism is a tricky thing to change. There's a lot of kind of technical cruft in the production of television that makes it difficult to radically shift our workflows. That said, television is in the midst of a pretty radical transformation, and digital is leading that. Particularly on the digital side of our news distribution, you're seeing TV station groups really experimenting with all sorts of different ways to serve their communities. And a lot of the lessons that are being put into place are coming from ONA. So I think what can ONA offer to local TV? I think ONA is offering local TV an enormous amount right now. I think local TV can bring back to ONA deep connections with the communities in which they live. Best practices around ways to reach readers and users outside of other things that we've talked about. Certainly around digital video, local TV is doing a lot of innovation here. And then there's another thing that we don't talk a lot about at ONA, which is that local TV is actually funding a lot of really innovative digital products in markets around the US. Hearst Television has in New Orleans a project called Very Local New Orleans, which is a digital first startup, wholly unconnected from our TV site, in which we are trying to figure out, can we build digital news that is self-sustaining from the ground up? I saw it coming.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you all.